Get all those recliners up, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a Wednesday night. It's the middle of the week. We deserve this. We deserve this.
Well, we deserve something because Seattle right now. I need to get my rally cap going.
Yeah, this is the numbers don't look right to me for some reason.
No, I know. And the sad part is, while you were over there pushing the button, they just did a single run home run. So
it still looks like shit.
Yeah,
it looks like my fantasy football stuff.
Okay, perfect. The door's open now.
Yeah, no, that's the one and only mention.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's it. We've nope, dead.
Locked, closed. All the chains are on. Security code. All right, come on, big dumper. Is that gonna stay? There we go. Here's our run. Here's our run. Big dumper. Look at that. All right, we just need a few more.
just keep going that way.
Hey, back-to-back home runs, but solo, so it could be a long eighth inning at this rate.
Well, welcome to the Whiskey and Wine Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Big Mike. And
joining us for episode 90 is old-time friend from when our kids were much younger, and current winemaker, Dave Spector.
Hey, Dave.
Hey. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we'll put in a little golf clap or something for you there, if I can figure.
I'll take what I can get.
Well, that's better than the greeting our wives usually give us. So
the deep forced sigh every time you enter the room, and you just instantly know that you made a mistake entering the room in the first place.
Your breathing annoys me. Well, Dave, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thrill.
I know you don't have to give us all the details, but you run Bells Up Winery down in Newburgh, and you've been doing that for how long now?
Well, let's see. We moved here in 2012, bought the property, started making the wine the following year in 2013. We opened up the doors in 2015. So if you look at just how long we've been open for business, we've now hit the 10-year mark of not bankrupting ourselves.
Wow.
There you go.
Which in this business, to be honest, is probably one of the best signs of success you're going to find.
Yeah. No, I would fully agree. I mean, there's a lot of capital outlay over those first years and not a lot of money in the door.
Yes, and fortunately, this is where, having been in the corporate world before I came here, at least I have an understanding about how to run a business, which you would be amazed how many wineries do not function like a normal business. I say it all the time. If the wine business functioned the way every other industry in America did, at least 30%, probably closer to 50%, would close their doors by the end of tonight.
Wow.
And we are very much, we're passionate about what we do, but it's a small operation. It's me and my wife, and that's it. I make the wine, I drive the tractor, I do the sales. My wife does marketing and scheduling, and that's just kind of how we do it. We are tiny in the grand scheme of things. I'm making a fraction of what even a boutique winery in this area would make. But we have always looked at it as an opportunity to build relationships. And,
nice.
One of the, and you've known us obviously since practically the beginning of our time doing this.
Yeah.
Just having the opportunity to sit down with folks, because we do everything one group at a time. Just getting to talk to people, and building relationships. I mean, there's a lot of great wine in this area. I mean, ours is good. Our neighbors are good. Their neighbors are good. What are these other things that you can do when you're talking about an industry like this? How do you get folks not just in the door, but to come back over and over again? And it's the relationships first and foremost.
Yeah.
And so that's the, something that we can do. And fortunately, we've been able to do pretty well for 10 years. And we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sir.
Perfect. Well, and those relationships will keep you sustained in other ways too. I mean, you've got a group of people who are your circle, and that the bigger that circle is and the better that circle is, the better your life is in general, because we've all run into pretty shit shows and everything, something happens and you need a little bit of help here or there, there's always somebody who knows that stuff.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the things, in addition to the winery sort of being probably the majority of our social life, it's the one place we can, other than tonight when I can have adult conversation. You get to meet so many people from so many walks of life that do so many different things. Things, for example, we've got customers all over the country. And I've got, for example, one of my longtime club members. He's a scoliosis specialist at the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland.
Shit.
And when my wife had sciatica a couple years ago, guess who got to do the second opinion on the x-rays?
That's fantastic.
And it's stuff like that, right? Like you build these relationships. They will accomplish, as you said, just so many different, lines of work that people do. So you really have this wonderful, cool little network of, hey, if we run into, whatever, I can call, somebody and just at the very least, like, hey, what should I be doing in this situation, right?
Yeah.
And it makes such a big difference. You're not just starting from ground zero.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can be a moderate success at a lot of things, but somebody has always done it better. And if you've got somebody in that circle who's done a little bit better that's willing to share that knowledge, fucking fantastic.
Invaluable right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right. Great intro, Dave. Look at you. Like a pro over here.
You'd almost think that I spend a lot of time talking during my day. I mean, it is really funny because I think that, people have this idea about what going to a winery is. We talked about this a little bit before we started, but, one of the first things I tell folks when they come in is I am basically in some ways like a bartender.
Yeah.
Right. I am not going to sit there and tell you to look for hints of huckleberry and pencil shavings with a soupçon of saddle leather and wine is and I know we feel the same way about whiskey here. It's why do we drink it? Because we enjoy it, because it helps us at the end of a day to just exhale, right? And you don't need to psychoanalyze it. I mean, the only thing that matters is this delicious, right? And I'm there to kind of guide you through why I make the decisions I make that gave you something delicious in the glass, right? And just to kind of give you the background and the storytelling. Every wine has a story, and sometimes that story can get overplayed. But I think if you are really true to, look, here's what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what we're trying to accomplish with it. And if you just speak to people in, basic English and, modern language and don't throw techno babble at them, it's amazing how people just relax and open up. And, and I'd say you will have when you come to see us, you will have conversations at our place that you will never have at any other winery ever.
Yeah.
Because we talk about real shit.
Yeah. Like, scraping this vat after I was done with it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, chicks dig it. I mean, that is the glamour. The glamour of my business. It's funny. So, as much as I despise social media, when you have a business like this, you have to have one. We have an Instagram site, and the uploads that we do that get the most likes and the most attention are ones where I just stepped off of a tractor and I am covered in dust and mud and dirt, and my wife calls it Dirty Dave. Oh. And for reasons I can't even begin to understand, those are the ones that are going to get by far the most attention.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to worry about our society for a lot of reasons, but in that one in particular, I just don't get it.
I think we are a lot of Schadenfreude in our society. I think we like to see a moderate amount of suffering in other people for humorous purposes, and we're in for that. So, a lot of the stuff that we've put out is usually our wives berating us or us, hiding from them or something like that. Or in fact, when our wives have come on the podcast and just reamed the shit out of us, it's usually some of our biggest hits. And that's, somebody enjoys listening to Mike and Alex get their nuts kicked in.
Who doesn't enjoy a good beatdown, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, Great. If that's what sells, that's what sells. But at least people will come in and look at you like, oh, you do clean up, Dave. Like, that's so nice to see you in clean clothes. Well, before we get too deep, I forgot to intro the whiskey. So this is something that one of our friends had texted us that was available around here. So it's Knob Creek. It's their 12-year. It's 100 proof, so it's not bottled in bond, but it is at that 100 proof level. It was right around $50 when I picked it up, and Knob Creek is it's a Beam product, like a Jim Beam product, but some of their middle to higher ground stuff. So. Not terrible price. I found it right on the shelf, and then got yelled at by the people running the liquor store because I took it off the very tall shelf, and they reminded me that the lower shelf is actually where it is, and that higher shelf was just the overflow.
The back stock.
Yeah. So I
see, you were helping them though. That way they didn't have to go by and stock the bottom shelf.
Right. I'm just thinking about merchandising standards.
Yes.
And how I can make their life easier while I buy booze.
And did they buy any of that?
No,
okay.
Absolutely not.
No good deed goes unpunished. You should know that by now.
So we'll see how this drinks. I think we've had a few sips so far, but we'll see how it goes through the episode, and hopefully we've got a good product here.
All right. Well, here, I'll
Cheers.
relay. We'll go that way.
Absolutely.
I'll relay over there.
Well, look at you guys have personalized glasses. That is really impressive. I mean, I came on this podcast having no idea how highbrow this really was. I mean,
highbrow. Oh, I love that description.
I'm kind of surprised mine just doesn't say guest.
Well, I have thought about that. But then we've had some questionable guests, and I don't want somebody later on going, wait a minute. Whose lips have been on this glass? And how well did you wash it? So Mike and I's, they're getting a little cloudy after being washed for 90 episodes, but the guest ones I try to rotate to keep clean and pretty. So
boy, that is kind of you, man.
That is very nice. Look at you.
Yeah, and I do have personalized glasses for us, Mike. How is that working for me at Tap?
Oh, man, you have to wait until the new year. That's when new mugs get etched. So just hold your horses. It's only October.
Well, all I know is I'm just a number to you right now, Mike.
Well, yes. Currently, yes. And if you're a good boy, we'll see if the first of the year brings you a new little gift.
Just don't call me fucktard on the glass, okay? Oh, shit.
Yeah, shit is right.
All right, so Mike, you got your washer fixed. We've established that.
Yep. Thank you, Google and YouTube. Shout out.
Shout out technology. Like, I'm starting to feel so much more competent. Like, I remember growing up, my dad was not necessarily handy. I grew up on a farm. He was really shit at fixing most everything that we had. If it didn't involve running a nail into whatever it was, or duct tape, or sometimes WD-40, it wasn't really going to get fixed.
Well, it sounds like he's pretty handy, because those are pretty much the universal...
But
hammer, duct tape, WD-40, you can do a lot of good in the world with those.
Yeah, the problem is that WD-40 doesn't fix a diesel tractor motor, and neither does duct tape most of the time. Yeah. Sometimes it does, but most of the times it does not help with the hydraulic lines. So I started to learn a little bit growing up, but now that we're fucking middle-aged adults, I'm having to learn how to fix other things, and Google and YouTube make me look like some sort of handyman god. Like, I should start a business as a handyman. Like, well, this door is not closing properly, so I'm going to adjust the hinges so that it catches properly and latches properly now. And I'm over there, and I'm adjusting the hinges, and, my wife's looking at me like, oh, wow. You're so good at this.
I married a man's man.
And then when she walks away, I pull my phone back out. Okay, and then you put the pin back in the hinge. Okay, put the pin. There we go.
My wife was so impressed about the dryer replacing the motherboard. She even watched me watch the YouTube video, and then when it actually worked, she's like, "Man, good job! You did it." And I was like, "I mean, I 5 screws, and I unclipped a few harnesses. So I mean,
But you know,
thank you."
It reminds you too, though, that when you break it all down, I mean, nowadays you've got everything like, with a motherboard, it's computerized.
Yeah.
But when you eliminate that, like
Yes.
how few moving parts there actually are in most of this stuff. And I like to compare that to in my line of work, we have a wine press, which is the most important, it's the most expensive piece of equipment we have. I think, let's see, 10 years ago it cost us something like $33,000.
Jesus.
It does 2 things. It spins around, and then inside it there's an air bladder in it that inflates and deflates.
To press the fruit.
Yes, that's it.
That's
for $33,000. When you
You
get down
too
to
can
it,
have
it does. That's all it does.
You too can have a spin cycle with a animal balloon inside.
And think about a dryer, right? Like again, it does 2 things. It spins around, and it blows heat.
Yeah.
That's all it does. And, and yes, you've got the computer stuff, which makes it more complicated. But you start to think, how is it that we couldn't have just in 20, 30 years ago figured this stuff out? I mean, why was it such a, man behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz type of situation?
You needed the man from Sears and Roebuck to come out and wave his magic wand, and all of a sudden the dryer gets fixed, and you're looking at him like he's God on earth, or or whatever. And now we look at it and we go, well, I could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to fuck up the first time, but the second time, I'm going to nail that shit.
Let's see, the first time it was smoking a little bit, but once we got through that, it really was okay.
Yeah, our dryer took a shit almost a year ago, to the point where, the thermal regulator stopped working, so I walk by and I can smell something wrong in the dryer, and then I put my hand on top of the dryer and I can't touch the dryer. So I'm like, oh, well, turn that off, open it up. It's like a fucking oven inside there. It's 300 some odd degrees, and I look at Joanna and I'm like, I think I can fix it. I think it's just it's a simple part in there. It looks like, it's $30. She goes, no. I know you could fix it. Let's just get a new one. It's 15 years old, and if you do it wrong, our house burns down.
Well, when you put it like that,
I mean, fine. We'll order a new one then. I mean,
translation, she wanted a new one and wanted to find a nice way out of it.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to take it as, not as I trust you to do a lot of things. Fix something that could potentially burn the house down is not one of them.
Oh, man. I had Kate worried for about 5 minutes because the video did say it was just a simple relay on the motherboard. I'm not very computer savvy. I can do some electrical work, right, and some car stereo stuff, but I'm not doing motherboard.
Yeah.
I don't even have a soldering gun. But the guy was like, man, all you have to do, 9 out of 10 times, if you just resolder it here and clean this up, you can probably just reuse the motherboard. So I looked at Kate and I was like, I might buy a soldering gun on Amazon. And she's like, for the love of God. She's like, just buy the motherboard. And I was like, okay. And I was really checking out slow on Amazon while I was texting a few buddies like, hey, Dame, you have a solderer? He's like, no. Try Fast. Fast, you have one? He goes, yeah. I go, oh, shit. I go, hun, I found someone. She goes, I swear to God, just buy the motherboard. I was like, yes, hun.
What
yes,
is peace
hun.
of of mind worth to you. Like, you're going to solder this. It is going to maybe potentially work, but then you're going to forget that you left the soldering gun plugged in.
No, we made the right call. The guy made it look so easy. It was a 4-minute video. It looked so easy.
Like, come on. I do things for way more than 4 minutes regularly. So I'm pretty sure I can do this.
So, yeah, new motherboard. Just threw away the burnt one.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Although I say my proudest achievement on this front, and I want to say this was probably 5-6 years ago. I think it was before COVID. Was I replaced the igniter on our hot water heater.
Oh,
Okay.
Now, this hot water heater, when you look at it, our house was built in the mid-'90s, and this might be original to the house as originally built. It is possible. And, we kind of went through the same thing, like, oh, boy, it's going out, and, boy, we replace a new one. And I said, all right, well, let's just take a try, take it to YouTube. And I thought, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
I've watched Mythbusters enough to see how they exploded hot water heaters. And I'm thinking, okay, there's nothing I'm going to do here that's going to generate pressure. So the worst thing I can do is just kind of buy a few parts and waste money and look like a moron at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I managed to get it up and running. I want to say the parts were $100-some total, which beat the heck out of obviously a unit.
Yeah.
And for 6-7 years, this thing has continued to run just wonderfully.
Yeah.
I think it might be. And I have not, by the way, told my parents that I did this.
Oh.
Because my fear is now that they're going to think I know what the hell I'm doing, and now I'm going to get called to do these sorts of things at their place.
Yes.
Yep. That's a huge problem for me working at that big orange store that we don't mention. Is people assume that by working there, I know things and can help them with things. And I have to regularly tell them I can technically do that. However,
You got to sign a waiver.
yes, and it's a little bit like when your toddler manages to guess the code on your phone. Like, yeah, it happened. It shouldn't have happened. Don't equate that to, like, hacking ability. Like, your kid just guessed the code right before he locked the phone out. I just happened to put the red wire where the red wire is supposed to go and the black wire where the black wire is supposed to go. Like, I managed to do that properly the first time. Don't act like you're an electrician. Please don't ask me to touch anything that will potentially burn your house down or electrocute me.
That's a good point, man. See?
Yeah, but also I'll tell you something else too. One of my customers, club members, used to serve on a nuclear submarine, and when I do tend to have electrical problems with some of my equipment, guess who the first person I'm calling is? Somebody who has got a lot of soldering experience. On something a hell of a lot more dangerous than anything I am currently using.
Yeah. If they're gonna trust him to make that thing work again properly and not irradiate the entire Atlantic Ocean.
I mean, we all watched Hunt for Red October, right? I mean, we remember that apparently it is possible to set off a nuclear warhead in a submarine just by crossing a couple of wires.
Yep, absolutely. We all know that is true.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so you call him, and your faith is infinitely larger than your faith in yourself, or probably that it should be. Like, those skills are not always A to B.
Yeah. Well, as I tell my daughter all the time, it's great to know how to do stuff, but knowing your own limitations and when to say, yeah, you know what, probably above my pay grade, time to call in a pro. That is a massive life skill.
And I think one that our kids need to learn faster than they are learning. Yeah. It's Mike, your son had a bit of a car issue last year, and he called you, and then you proceeded to call somebody with a pickup truck.
Yep.
And that guy I showed up with my pickup truck, and we fixed the problem with the car. And but
thank you, Orange Box Store, that I had to stop at real quick to get a few straps.
But we fixed the problem because you knew your limitation.
My little V6 in the Highlander, when I saw the photo come across my screen, I was like, yep, I think this is a V8 job. Who do I know? Oh, I know. Martson, I know I just left your house. What I need you to do is hop in your truck. I'm going to drop you a pin. You mind meeting me somewhere real quick? You got to know people.
You got to know people.
See, Dave, if I would have known your guy on the nuclear sub, I would have had him solder my motherboard. I mean,
it really is. It really is about who you know and how good they are at what they know.
Yep. Great. So I am pretty much useless to most everybody because I know just enough.
Most everybody.
Well, I think I'm very useful to my wife. And I think that is more of a sliding scale depending on the day. I think there are days where I'm way more useful than other days. Like tomorrow, I'm going to scoop poop in the yard. That's probably, moderately useful for her.
Yes, that would be the situation where my wife says, well, you have the penis, so you're doing poop scooping. You have the penis, you're doing the dirty work. It pretty much is her excuse for everything along those lines.
Right.
Excuse is the wrong word. Justification.
Well, like that's some sort of trophy. This thing has caused me more problems in my life than advantages. I mean, you can't walk into a poll and tell me that this thing's an advantage.
No.
I'm no Travis Kelce over here, so it's like I'm not bagging Taylor Swift with anything.
Mad.
Yeah. But it's inevitably we got to deal with our own shit, but I'll tell you what. I mean, when you get into things like menopause.
Oh.
I mean, for all the issues we have to deal with, I will say I would rather be a male 100 times out of 100.
Absolutely.
Than to have to play the internal head games that women do.
Yep.
Now, we are collateral damage, of course, in all of this. I mean, this is the, as they say in The Godfather, this is the business we've chosen. But at the end of the day, hey, at least I know that my simple little pea brain is not going to be preoccupied by literally every single thought going on all at the same time, jammed up with hormones and all the other things.
And a thermometer that has zero self-control. Yeah, all of that. Mm-hmm. No, I'm right there with you. I will take moderate male issues over any of that. So women, don't come at us.
Don't
please.
Send Alex all the emails. We'll forward them to him.
Mike at whiskeyandwine.com. His address for your mail bomb.
Okay. Go hit that button there, Martson.
All right.
The Whiskey and Wine Podcast is brought to you by Tapforia, Tigard, Oregon's first growler tap house. Founded in 2014, Tapforia has 28 taps, including beer, wine, cider, seltzer, and kombucha. Did you know that they are a bottle shop as well now? Stop in for a pint, glass, growler, or a 4, 6, or 12-pack of the latest and greatest offerings of our local breweries. Located on Highway 99W in Tigard. Visit tapforia.com and follow them on social media to see what they have on tap each day. Tapforia, craft beer and wines.
All right, welcome back from break. Real quick, how was last week fantasy football, Martson?
You fucking dick. How did I know that's where this was going?
Hey, you opened the door in the first half.
I thought we said it was.
No, I spent my break picking all the locks that you set on that door, and then I gently pushed it open. All right, we don't have to get into it. We don't have to get into it.
However you want to do this, like however you want to waste Dave's time on a nice evening when he came up to hang out with us.
Owen what? Owen
fuck. God damn, Dave.
6. 0-6.
I'm not even in this league, and I feel bad for you, brother.
Well, I got somebody who's now like looking to pick up my number 1 rated quarterback, and I'm like, well, what the fuck, maybe. I can't, like, if I get a better running back, maybe it'll help. Like,
That might be the classic definition of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
look, if you're going for the toilet bowl, fucking shoot for the toilet bowl, okay?
Don't half-ass it.
Oh man. No, you're gonna get that win this week. I have.
It's the romance comedy that this world deserves. Is 0-6 Alex all of a sudden wins every other game and somehow makes the playoffs.
See,
somehow
country farm boy. See,
does good and done win that belt.
You done did good, Martin.
I mean, this is a movie that is dying to be made. DiCaprio's got to be in this.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm not sure who our female lead is going to be, but with a part like this, who would say no?
Yeah, I think this is Oscar worthy instantly. I mean, original screenplay. Who, fantasy football, fantasy love.
Oh, it's got to be better than that crap that Costner did a few years ago.
I'm gonna get you one of those like little Fabio wigs with your long flowing hair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I could just write a book about it, I guess. Just if I put some dragons in it, do you think maybe it'll sell better?
I mean, think of it this way. Didn't the guys who I think the book was 21, the guys from MIT that went out to Vegas and did a whole like card counting thing. I mean, they made a book and movie about that.
Yeah.
I mean, how much worse could this be?
Yeah, the bar's got to be pretty low at this point. I mean, it's like those poor, artists who are trying to come up with original songs and everything else right now is everything's already been made, so might as well just fucking make something kind of like that's a little bit different.
I mean, this is what we have AI for, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like this is the one thing in my line of work that I'm not worried about AI taking over.
Yeah.
Because AI doesn't want any part of making wine. AI is way too damn smart to get into my line of work. It's so funny because when people come in, a lot of times that we have this like really romanticized idea of what being in the wine business is like.
Absolutely.
Everybody thinks we're all just sipping out of barrels all day, pinky in the air. And, when you get down to it, for me, I've got two main jobs when just talking about making the wine. Selling, it's a whole different thing. But just talking about making the wine, I have two jobs. One is we've got fermentations going on. So the work is being done by yeast. Single-celled organisms, right? And they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They eat sugar, they spit out carbon dioxide and alcohol. Like that's the basic reaction. So my job is to make sure that these little single-celled organisms have all the right things that they need. Nutrients, right temperatures, things like that. So now assuming that I've done that correctly and I've managed it and we get all the sugars fermented out of it, now we get wine into the barrel, and it's going to sit in the barrel for 12 months, let's say, right? Okay. So now my job is to make sure that as we lose wine in the barrel through evaporation, that we, every couple of weeks, put it back, make sure we don't get too much headspace in the barrel. We have to worry about these things in wine that y'all on the hard liquor side don't really have to worry about, things like oxidation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So first I'm a caretaker for single-celled organisms, and then I'm a glorified janitor. Just put back what nature's taking away.
This sounds like a Hallmark movie as well. Yeah.
Funny you should say that, Alex, because one of my wife's dear friends, actually, this was a couple of years ago, she was writing a Hallmark script, and I believe this thing actually eventually got made.
Holy shit.
I do not remember the name of it off the top of my head, but God knows there's a database that y'all can search, and I guarantee you find it. But she reached out to us and said she wanted to loosely base it on us, and it was going to be about an Oregon winery and The romantic angle was going to happen at one of these wine competitions, and so she called us and said, "Hey, I just want to know what happens at these wine competitions because I want to try to glamorize it." And she had this idea, I think, that when we submit wine to a competition, that we actually physically travel to the destination. And
she thinks of it like a dog show.
Exactly. Where, we're not involved other than apparently we're just there doing what God only knows, but we're there.
Looking cute.
Yes.
Looking cute, trying to find romantic things. I have no idea because most of the time these events are taking place in the basements of hotels and things like that. I mean, it's kind of like if I have a buddy that's done the main event of World Series of Poker, and this is pretty much what that room that you see is what I imagine a room of wine panel judges looking like.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely nothing romantic about it all. And we had to explain to her that, you don't actually travel to the destinations that the wine is going to. You just kind of sit and wait for them to send an email with, here are your scores, here are your results. So she was quite disappointed by that, believe it or not, and then proceeded to sort of write her own script anyway. And I just said, well, you did ask what actually happened at these things. I mean, you can't blame me for answering the question. But kind of all this is to say that, one of the things that I like doing when customers are there is really demystifying what goes on in our business. Because so often, like I said, people just have these expectations, and when you get right down to it, it's just a lot of very dirty work.
Yep.
And when I'm hosting a tasting, I am in usually a polo and jeans or shorts, and that is as nice as I dress for anything. I looked in my closet the other day because we were invited to a wedding, and I started thinking, my God, I don't think I have a fitting suit. I'm not even sure I've got a sport coat that I've worn in the last 15 years.
Yep. So you're not standing in the driveway with your golden retriever and your seersucker suit or, a tan suit of some sort, swirling your wine, going, welcome to our domain.
No, and I also did not build some Taj Mahal-like palace to entertain the plebes that are coming to visit us. It really is. One of the things I'm so happy to be in Oregon for is that, we really don't have these Napa-style palaces, these shrines to the owners.
Yep.
I'm doing all of our tastings out of a converted pole barn. Now, we have an awesome view. I mean, we have this wonderful view looking south across the valley, but it certainly wasn't anything that was constructed.
Yeah.
And it is as simplified as it gets. And it's kind of more what we've always said, wine and really anything that we consume is all about. Does it give you, first of all, is it yummy? That's number one. And there are a lot of ways to get there, but that's number one. And number two, does it let you just exhale? Does it give you that ability to, at the end of a day, just kind of sit down like we're doing right now, have a sip, have a glass, and just say, I made it through the day, And if you can do those two things, all of the flowery stuff that, you always hear, none of that stuff matters, right? I mean, and I tell my customers all the time, it's like, look, even if I did do those things, when you take the wines home, it's not like I'm going to be there with you. I like you a lot, but I'm not going to be there with you. So the experience that you have when you're tasting this has to be transferable to when you're home, whether it's with your family or on your own. There's nobody else around, and the feelings that you get have to just happen. And usually that's best, ironically, when I just, when somebody's tasting something at our place, when I just shut up and just let them get whatever it is that they're going to get from it.
Choose your own adventure. Choose your words that describe this. Choose the feeling that it is, and let that be that.
Absolutely, because the last thing I think makes any sense is, if somebody's really going to form a connection and it could be, whether it's wine or anything else, that connection has to come from within.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's too heavily narrated, right? If it leads, if you're trying to convince people that they should be tasting something or whatever, or feeling something or whatever, then I think so much of this ends up getting lost. And you don't trust your customers to come up with their own conclusions and their own connections. And just because they didn't go exactly the way you thought they, quote, should go, doesn't mean that they didn't love it and they won't take some with them.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's best to just, hey, do a little bit of foreground explanation. Here's why I did what I did, and then shut up and let them enjoy it.
Drink it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, and people's bullshit meter is so high nowadays that I think if you try and, we've been to a few places where they do that full narration of, how, the life cycle of the vine through the, how we're harvesting, how we're fermenting, how, the whole thing. Somewhere after the grape drops off the vine, my brain said, shut the fuck up, because I've already finished the tasting that you gave me, and I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah. And it is. And I think there's some information that's important. We always talk about this idea of wine, and this is true of anything, but art and science, right? But we don't get to the art unless we do the science right. But frankly, nobody wants to hear about the science.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's okay. That's okay. And it's okay that we talk about the art, because I think it's the thing that people can most best visualize what our process is and kind of how we're doing these things. And the questions that I'm going to get most often are about the art. It's I've got, 18 to 20 barrels in my, in my barrel room. How do I blend parts of this, parts of that, parts of the other thing together to create a bunch of different product offerings that are very significantly different from one to the next?
Yeah.
People are interested in that, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, it's amazing. I tell my daughter this. It's amazing what happens sometimes when you just shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, I mean, quite frankly, difficult for all three of us.
Self-discipline is key.
Yeah,
absolutely key. But when it's your business too, I've done this now for, I've been running tastings now for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So you get the sense, and you can read people.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the nice things too. You really get the sense of, okay, what are these people here for? What's their background? And some people want to be geeky, and that's awesome. We can certainly do that. But probably 95% are just, hey, I love wine. It's not a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so, once you talk a little bit about the art, you just kind of let folks go where they want to go.
Yep. Yeah.
We probably spend less time at my place talking about wine than almost any other winery out there. Because we're talking about our kids, we're talking about the stuff in our lives. We're no different than our customers,
right?
We made a few different life decisions, but anybody could learn to do what I do. You basically need a high school level understanding of chemistry and be willing to just work your butt off. Yep. And if you're willing to do those things, you can do this. Not saying you should do this, but you could do it.
There's lots of things we could do. The should part is where logic and reason should come in.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But, logic and reason have very little place in the wine industry.
Yeah. There's a lot more ego and heart in the wine industry.
There is.
As a whole, not I don't think it's a large share, but I think
it's not a small share. It's not a small share.
But those bits are easily found.
They are, and you can tell. I think when you walk into a place, we're not in Oregon, we're not Napa. Like I said, we don't have very many of these just ridiculous ornate buildings. But even so, you can walk into a place and you can get a very quick idea of the vibe of what you walk into. Is this a shrine to the owner's ego? And there's a lot of places out there, and new places opening up all the time. I say all the time, getting people to know we exist is one of the hardest things when you're our size, and our temperament, because we're not, we're going to self-promote, but we're not, at our core, screamers or anything like that. So we're trying to find, the right people for us. And you can tell, I think, when folks walk in, there's this sense of relief that, thank God, I'm not at a place that's going to be, throwing bells and whistles at me and, going to really take more of a real world tactic.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. I mean, reality versus invented reality or fantasy.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places that we've walked in across the world where you can walk in, like you said, you walk in and you immediately understand, where have you put what money you have made?
Yeah.
So that chandelier looks fucking expensive.
Yeah. It's Vegas, basically. When you think of the facades, every place will have their own version of a facade. It's but then when you get past that, they're playing the same games that everybody else is, right? And when you go home, you're not taking the facade with you.
No. Some of the best places Joanna and I have ever eaten in New York or Italy or whatever are true hole in the wall, like smaller than this room for seating. Looks like a shithole, but they're serving, they're turning over maybe 15 tops a night.
Yeah.
And that means that whatever they're making, they're doing really, really well. And in a small scale, they could probably grow and do things 80% as well as they're doing it, but their passion and their ability are where they're at. So you grow to the room that you are in, and you've grown to the room that you're in. You've got neighbors on both sides. You're not going to be adding, another 150 acres of grapes to your place. Right. You've got what you need, and it has provided because you've done what you need.
Well, and we identified along those exact lines. We identified before we got into this, what is it we wanted out of it, right? And you have to make at some point a decision when you start down this path. Everybody starts small, and they hit a point when they grow that they've got to figure out, okay, what is our identity? Do I want to stay this way, or do I want to take the next step? And when I say the next step, I don't mean that as a positive or a negative. I just mean it's a step, right?
Yeah.
It's usually you get a lot bigger. You now think about distribution. You now, instead of worrying as much about individual customers, now you're thinking more about selling pallets to other states through a distributor.
Yeah.
The entire game completely, it's not the same business at all.
No.
And what we said from day one, and I don't know how many people believed us when we started this, but we said, no, we understand what our limitations are. We don't want to get involved in this. I was a tax lawyer for 10 years before I got into this. I saw a lot of different businesses. I saw a lot of different business models. And I understood that there's a point at which, you work your tail off, but why are you doing this? Because at the end of the day, we want to make ourselves happy.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be able to make ourselves happy if we're spending all of our time thinking about, okay, I have to be on the road for, half the year in order to, go to, North Dakota to try to sell, pallets through. And it's just, no, I love the relationships.
Yeah.
And we know, people know that when they contact us, you're going to be talking to one of two people. And that's it. I mean, we have no employees. I love people. I don't want to manage.
No HR to put. Yeah, you don't have HR. You don't have a whole accounting firm taking care of everything. You don't have the accoutrements that come with being able to ship an entire pallet a day of wine someplace.
Exactly. And there's obviously there's limitations on your upsides there, right? Financially. And there's only, you're going to be able to do so much. But we played all that out, and we said the trade-off to that was that we're going to have much more control over what success means ultimately to us.
Yeah.
And that was way more important. I mean, I could have stayed what I was doing and, made way, way, way more money than what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I would have been an absolute train wreck of a human being because I was well on that path.
Yeah.
I burned out, stressed to the hill, just done. And there's obviously still stresses in what we're doing right now, but this idea for us of having control over what our goals are, what our objectives are, you don't have
And
somebody.
what your day-to-day looks like.
Right. You're not worried about, somebody in an office, hundreds of miles away dictating that you have to, raise, you've got to increase your billings by 20%. Why? Nobody has a good answer to that. And it doesn't always make any, economic reality sense.
Yeah.
But no, these are your goals. This is what we can say, okay, if we want to get away for a week, now we're at that point where we can say, okay, we can just shut down and, people will be there when we come back.
Yeah. Which
It's a good
free.
place to be in.
That's very freeing.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously, yeah, it comes with some trade-offs, but and everybody has to kind of make their own decisions about whether they're willing to make those trade-offs. For us, it was worth doing, and I hope that my daughter is paying any attention to what we're doing, and but she's 16, and she's a great kid. I don't expect. That she's going to look at this and say, hey, I can't wait to get into this line of work. But I'm at least hoping that she can see, what can be accomplished if you're willing to step in and dedicate yourself to it.
One of the things that I've learned recently with Jackson going off to college and, McKenna, like your daughter, still in high school, is that that really relieving bit that we're all waiting for, where they look at us and they go, you're right, or thank you for teaching me this, that's 20 years down the line.
Yeah.
At best. So if you catch them using some form of logic or thinking about something that they wouldn't naturally think about, a consequence to something that is so far down the line that they shouldn't naturally be thinking about it. If you see them do that, that's the justification for us to do what we do as parents, is like, you see that the skill set is being imprinted. If it's not in bright pink lettering, at least the texture is there.
It's little tiny things, right? It's these little tiny things that you identify and you just kind of smile, and you may be the only person that ever sees it.
Yep.
But you at least knew that, like, okay, you are making a difference.
Yep. Ugh. But I love it. Fuck, are they exhausting?
Yeah.
I mean, you were just saying downstairs a little bit ago how nice it is that Naomi can drive now. Like, yeah, it's great that they could drive. I still worry a little bit about, like, the capability of the driving and everything else, but that's, your job as a parent. But I also really appreciate not sitting in parking lots anymore.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Like,
for hours.
There's fucking nothing to do around here. I could go to that Mexican restaurant over there and have a margarita and some food, or I can sit here and I can scroll, or I can catch up on emails, or what the fuck am I going to do for an hour and a half? Because it's not enough time for me to drive home and then drive back here. So I'm just stuck.
Oh, and that's if you're lucky enough to have those places available. My daughter Naomi has been spending the last couple of years getting involved in aerial circus arts, and one of the places that she does it is over in McMinnville, but it's more in the industrial area where they have big warehouses and things like that, which is it's setup for what she's doing.
Yeah.
But for to your point now, okay, now what? I got a bunch of steel fab plants and things like that. This is not exactly where I'm going to be hanging out for 2 hours while she's doing her thing.
Maybe this is the next best business ideas. Just grab a party bus style thing, just a mobile bus, and you just go park outside these places that, like, there's nothing going on, and you're like, yes, I do serve drinks and food. The drinks are $20. The food is $40.
We'll just steal Moto's pricing scale.
Yep. But you can watch TV in here. You can be moderately social or not social, and I will serve you booze and food while you wait for whatever is going on in the middle of this industrial park.
Tell you what, another thing I just thought of is, we think back to the old Charlie Brown things, right? You remember Lucy had the psychiatric help, like a lemonade stand?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I'm now thinking that she and Charles Schultz were decades ahead of their time.
Way ahead.
If they opened something like that up now, just outside of these sorts of complexes, and maybe even alongside the food and the bread, my goodness, you would be raking in.
Just swipe your HSA card right here and have a seat.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's mobile, and it's there when you need it. You've got a guarantee. And in person, you don't even have to worry about doing this online. Do it in person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, now we're just gonna have mobile everything. It'll be a taco bar, a whiskey lounge, and a or a counseling session. Like, we'll just have them parked right next to each other, and we'll just follow around like a train to all the different dance competitions or whatever you go to. We'll just show up, and you can pick your poison. Which would you like?
What do you need help with today?
Mm-hmm. A one-stop shopping. I mean, you think you can just do this, you only have to do this online, but now I think there's a possibility to really broaden our horizons.
Man, all these million dollar ideas we've had on this podcast. We're definitely raking in the 37 cents.
Well, hey, everything starts with a great idea.
Well, we've done 90 episodes. We've not been canceled yet. Our wives have still, I think, given tacit approval to this. They at least don't yell at us as often about it. I think they enjoyed it more when the timing was a little bit more consistent. Like, on their weekends, on a Sunday afternoon, we'd be up here for a couple hours, and we'd be out of both of their hair. And now you're showing up on random nights, and I've got Dave showing up, and she's like, I didn't know Dave was coming over. I took my bra off, you asshole. Like, oh yeah, Dave's coming over.
It sounds like you've got all the same good communication skills that my wife and I have. We spend more time texting each other. We could be sitting at the same table, and chances are we're going to be texting each other as opposed to speaking.
Well, Here's one thing that's really weird. So with the new technology on the iPhones and everything else, she texted me this morning, don't forget to pick up dog food. And it immediately popped up, would you like to create a reminder to pick up dog food after work?
Look at that.
I'm
See?
No, I will do it myself. I will create
I don't need you. I can totally remember this.
Yeah,
Did you get dog food? Shit.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, I am a fan of that, and I will tell my wife, because I have now accepted the fact that at 52 years old, if anything is going to go into my brain, at least one, but probably two things have to come out of it in order to take in that new information.
Yep.
And God forbid I have to retain something for longer than about 10 minutes.
Yep.
At that point, if I don't have something, I mean, and I'm still a guy who, in my office has a billion Post-it notes.
Oh, yeah.
Just scattered about. There's nothing I don't come up with that it's like, oh, I got to put this down or I'm going to instantly lose it in my head in 10 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm okay with that. Yep.
I would agree with that. I mean, fuck, we've got a whiteboard over here now. I mean, we're 4 seasons in, and I finally bought us a whiteboard so we could remember what episode we're on. we're like, we're in the 80s somewhere. Like, oh, shit, no, we're at episode 90. Holy shit.
See, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can remember the words to just about every 90s country song. But it was a struggle to get into my truck after work today and remember to drive literally across the street to go get dog food.
Yeah.
That's a fun new game.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for calendars and phones.
Well, this is why you're doing a show primarily centered around alcohol, really.
I got to be able to blame something for my forgetfulness.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I totally, we were podcasting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Mike, did you forget anything today?
Let me check my calendar.
No. On your way up here, did you forget anything?
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot all types of shit. Forgot whiskey. Forgot ginger beer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I forgot everything.
Yeah. Well,
It wasn't in my calendar. Damn it.
Set a reminder, you
No,
dumbass.
I should. Dude, my calendar is disgusting. But yes, I should have set a freaking reminder.
I found the new feature where I can set a geofence on it. So when I leave the house, it like pops up the reminder, like, you've left the house. Don't forget, you need to go pick up oil or whatever it is. Like,
Holy crap, that sounds like a lot of work. I'd never heard of a geofence until you just said it.
Yeah.
I can figure out, I think, what it means, but this is the first time I've heard of this.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, and I've set it up for things like, did you close the garage door? And so I get out of the neighborhood and it's like, did you close the garage door? Turn the fuck around. Like, yeah, I know I closed. I know I did. And I pull up to the house. Yeah, I did. I didn't.
See, this would be the advantage of having OCD.
Yeah. I think there would be advantages to it. I think it's more fun to be 20 miles away and go, fuck it. Whatever. I'll just text the family chat and be like, somebody figure out how to close the garage door. Who's closest? Not me. Not it.
You need to get one of the new app one that you can just check it on your phone and close it on your phone.
I've got that.
Do you?
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, my in-laws just got it, and we were driving up there the other night. My wife got her phone out, and we're pulling up. I was like, oh, shit, you got the app, too? I want the app. I want to be able to open and close a garage door.
Well, we started running into a problem because where we live, there is a spring that has a wireless monitor on it. And for reasons I don't entirely understand, at certain times of day, there's RF interference. So if you go to use your typical garage door opener, half the time it'll work. Half the time it won't. You'll be sitting there just pushing buttons forever. Now, with the Wi-Fi setup, it now works perfectly. The real problem, however, with this comes that both my wife, we have adjustable beds.
Oh.
And they're relatively old, so as it turns out, of course, it's the same frequency as whatever it is that they're sending.
Oh.
So if you are up and now you're ready to go to bed for the night, and you hit that down button, and nothing and now you're like, oh, shit, now I gotta figure out what to do.
Like, do we need to put up a Faraday fence on the far side to block the interference from this damn thing?
I think it's all the things you think about, that you would expect when you live in a relatively exurbian place. This wasn't on the list.
Did I think my adjustable bed would have problems with some sort of RF signal coming from a spring?
Yeah, if I lived on a military base, okay, I could see that being a problem. But
Yeah.
I did not imagine, being out on a hill on 10 acres, and this is an issue I have to deal with.
Oh, fuck. No, technology has made my life so much easier, but also has not helped the ADHD. Like I'm definitely bouncing off of the walls sometimes. Like, oh, I should turn on the notifications for this camera because, the kids are outside and I don't want to see like notifications from here, but I do want to see notifications from here. Why? The lack of knowledge 30 years ago, I think, was a good thing.
Oh,
100%. 100%.
And aren't you also glad that we didn't have camera phones in our teenage years
Holy
to
fuck.
document?
1,000,000,000% on that one.
I talk to my daughter a lot about, because she takes, and to be fair, I would too if I was growing up in this environment, takes for granted that all these things exist. And I had to explain to her, like you can imagine Amazon is a big part of our shopping, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we live on 10 acres, so,
Yeah.
it's a big part. There literally, I think there's a truck coming down every other day.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to her that there once was a time where you physically had to go to a place called a shopping mall. And you walked around in these stores, and the stores were what they were. You didn't have a choice other than and you had to buy what they had.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't order, custom color on demand for every little stuffed gadget she's got, right?
Yep.
You literally had to do that. You used to have to read something called a map.
Yes.
Which we call the MAP device, right? Like if you were going to a place you didn't know, you actually had to figure out, like, okay, I have to, write down these directions in order to get from point A to point B.
And when you got from Cincinnati to Indianapolis, you needed to go stop by a gas station and pick up a map for Indianapolis.
Precisely. You had to find the gas station number 1, which
Yes.
was not always easy to do.
Yep.
But then assuming you could get to that point, now you're, and God forbid you end up in the wrong half of Indianapolis, and your education picks up pretty quick.
Yeah. No, you learn gas pedals can go further than the floor.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
No, I was cleaning something out a few months ago, and I found an old Sears catalog. And so I was showing the kids, I'm like, so here's what's even weirder. You would write on this page in the Sears catalog the order form. You would write what you wanted, the item number, and then the size or whatever it was, and then you would include either a money order or a check if they accepted checks at that time. In an envelope. You would mail that off to Sears, and then 68 weeks later you would get a package back with what you ordered. 6 to 8 weeks. We're talking 2 months to get a new pair of PJs if you ordered from Sears, because you weren't going to drive into the biggest town nearby that had a Sears that might possibly have what you were looking for.
Do you remember the Music Man? And,
Yeah.
and I don't remember when that came out, but when you think of the Wells Fargo wagon, right? There was a
Yep.
whole song written about that exact same thing. And the technology did not change one iota from then until the Sears catalog. It was exactly the same as it was back then.
Yeah.
I found the other day a reel on Instagram, and some Xenial kid or whatever was going, did you know you used to be able to order a house from Sears? A whole house, for $1,100. They would ship you all the shit to build your own house. Like, that's the best Lego ever. And like, no. It is not the best Lego ever. Because where the fuck are you living while you're building this Lego? Not in the house that's still on the pallets in your property. If all the pallets showed up. If they didn't, you're waiting 6 to 8 weeks for the replacements.
The good days.
Hey, but thank you, YouTube.
And Amazon.
Yeah, true that. I mean, for all the things that we, and that we bitch about with with Amazon, the company, and everything. The reality is, I don't know how anybody lived in at least a semi-rural area before Amazon was around.
Seriously, I think it was. You just had to time things out.
Yeah.
You made your big trips into town. I mean, not that I grew up that far out of Portland. I mean, we were only 45 miles from Portland. But to drive into town, into Portland, to where a mall was or where a store was that carried something other than like the local stores and what they had, if you needed something specific, if you needed a suit, you had to drive into Portland and go and, do the fitting. And then, 3 weeks later, when you've got the time and the ability to spend 3 hours driving in, picking it up and driving back, then you would pick it up. As opposed to, grab the tape measure and measure a couple of measurements and plug it into Amazon, and tomorrow morning before 8 a.m. I've got a suit that generally fits.
I do think kids today are probably thinking that in those days we were probably a half step above caveman status.
Yep.
I mean, I could just tell the looks on my daughter's face when we talk about this, and different than the normal bizarre looks that I get from her of like, how did you live? How did you survive?
I found the funniest fucking thing. I found a simulator for a 14.4K modem. So you can load this up. You load this app up, and then you say like, take me to Instagram, and it shows how long Instagram would take to load on a 14.4K modem.
My kids would cry.
And I'm
There
showing
would be tears
like
for days.
it had like an eighth of the search bar at the top filled in after 5 minutes. You're like, no, this is like, oh yeah, this is a thing.
Dad, I think it's broken. Nothing.
Do I need to reboot?
Oh, that's my favorite game, is when they were all home and everybody's scrolling, and I just go downstairs and I flip the switch to the internet, and then I get 3 texts. My wife, my son, and my daughter all texting, the internet's down.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
Weird.
Or if I'm not home and it goes down, the internet's down. The fuck am I going to do about it? Hang on, let me go do virtual IT support. No. Like, if the internet's down, it's down. It's just down.
What, you can't just snap your fingers and make it appear?
No.
I mean...
Well, should we get to the whiskey review then? Part of it. So, Dave...
I saved a little.
Just so you know, so we rate on 3 categories: availability, price, and how we like it.
Okay.
This bottle, we'll call it medium available. It's not always available, but there was a good number of bottles. When I searched on the OLCC liquor search, there was a good number of bottles available around the state. Price is around $50. So reasonable for a whiskey, not out of pocket or anything. And then taste. And so you've got there in your lap our super scientific, just like how you describe all your wines, very detailed rating scale from silver to platinum.
Pretty much to A through F as a grade.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Realistically. We've never given an A to anything just because we've never found something that's like, holy fuck, I'd drink this every day.
We're still looking for that unicorn.
And it's reasonably priced and I can find it. We found lots of things that were like, holy shit, I would drink this every day, but we found one bottle in 3 states.
Right.
That kind of thing. So,
right.
But other than that, those are our guidelines.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, on balance, and that's kind of the thing, right? I mean, on balance, I would say somewhere between gold and somewhere around the gold level, I think, for this for me.
Yeah.
It's, the nice thing about this is it's smoother than it seems like it would be just on aroma, which is a big deal for me. It's funny, in a lot of ways, when I taste this, I kind of feel like this is sort of where my wines actually fit in on the grand scheme of things. A bottle of my red wine is going to run about $50. I mean, maybe slightly more, but that's about the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just nice and tasty, and it's not, you know, it's smooth. It's not going to bite you too hard. You know, it's a nice little sipper.
All right. Love it. All right. Solid gold from Dave. Mike, how are you feeling?
You know, I'm kind of feeling the same. I like this. This was, you know, I don't like the sweetness. This was good. 100 proof.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good flavors, good layers. It lasted. It held up pretty well. Good nose on it. I think I'm going to go straight in the middle, too. I think I'm going to give it a gold.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I got to agree. And Dave, I like the way you described it. Like, it's a good sipper. I think if this is a $40 bottle or, you know, a $35 bottle and it's more readily available, it's going to get a much higher grade. 12 years is a good amount of time to put something into a barrel and give it some time to figure its shit out, which is kind of what I would love to do to my children some days. But
It's going to take a lot longer than 12 years.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you start aging them at 18, I feel like 12 years might be enough for them to maybe. But I think I'm going to go the same with both of you gentlemen. I'm going to go with a gold. I really enjoyed it. I wish it was more available and just a hair cheaper. I mean, it's a Beam product, but I know they do some decent stuff on the higher end. So, you know, good showing. Gold.
Very good showing. And a good color. It does have a nice color to it.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Well,
I know, we're getting frou-frou here,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
All right. Well, cheers.
All right.
Pass that down
Lock
there.
that in.
Absolutely.
Well, there we go.
See, Dave, I told you this wasn't intimidating.
Yeah. Like I said, how bad could it be?
Sit in a quiet room with nobody bothering us, watching, you know, 4 different screens of sports and drinking whiskey.
The horror.
Yeah. Life is tough. Well, thank you, Dave, for coming on.
Absolutely, man.
If any of you guys are interested, Bells Up Winery is down in Newburgh, and they're a lovely place to hit up. Just send them an email, call, go on their website, and see if you can find a time to sit down with Dave. He'll tell you lots of good stories and potentially serve you some decent wine.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah. I mean, as long as the card swipes, we're good.
Our standards are low, but that's all right.
Yeah. Welcome to our lives. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and check out the website. There's a little bit of merch for sale on there. And, you know, you can always listen to us on YouTube, too, because it's not like I'm going to film this shit anymore. Because I suck at editing. And if you're good at social media or editing, or you want to just come on the podcast, hit us up on the website or Mike at whiskeyandwine.com. He'll take all the comments and the grief and
and forward them directly to Alex.
Or if you've got a bottle you want us to check out, let us know. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening for another week.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
This episode of the Whiskey and Wine Podcast is sponsored by Portland Party Bus, Portland's original party bus company, where the ride becomes the party. PDX Party Bus pricing is all inclusive. This means all the hourly rates include all fees and mileage. No surprise charges at the end of your party, just professional staff and a party all along the way. Visit them at pdxpartybus.com. and plan your next wine tasting, birthday party, or just a great weekend. pdxpartybus.com.